Good morning and welcome back to the AMP Podcast. I'm Mark Dandrea, the Doctor of Real Estate. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of the Agent Mentorship Platform Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all your favorite podcast libraries. And take time to visit our website at agentmentorshipplatform.com. Appreciate you guys joining us for Season 3. I am joined today by Justin Humphreys, my cohort. Good morning, Justin.
Morning.
Dana Kitchin, one of our co-leaders of AMP.
Good morning.
And Maleeka Smith, another co-leader of AMP.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate that. Ethan, our new engineer. Well, not new necessarily to engineering, but we've never met you. Ethan, welcome to the AMP Podcast.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
It's good to meet you. Thanks a lot for all your hard work. Appreciate you. Justin, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, we're excited to be back in the studio. It has been, I think we recorded the last episode in November or December.
Yes.
Maleeka, you were on for that one.
Yes.
And we've been anxious to get back in the studio, so we're happy to be here again. Thank you guys for joining us. Today, our episode is called We Make Agents Better Faster, because that's what AMP is all about, making agents better faster. That's what we focus on. We're going to be diving into some of your favorite segments like the AMP Action Plan, the Mindset Matters segment, the Agent Spotlight, and more. So we're going to take a real quick commercial break to hear from a couple of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to dive right into Episode 1 of Season 3. Stick around. Thanks for tuning in, and a big shout out to one of our sponsors, D.R. Horton, specifically Justin Phillips and Dusty Riffle with D.R. Horton. Guys, if you're looking for a new build home, D.R. Horton, one of the largest builders in America, has 17 communities across Central Ohio. They offer below-market interest rates. They offer closing cost incentives. They offer home warranties, and they have many, many move-in ready options. If you need help looking at new build homes today, reach out to D.R. Horton. Justin Phillips and Dusty Riffle are there to help you.
Welcome back to the AMP Podcast. Again, thanks for joining us. Season 3, Episode 1. We want to thank our sponsors, Vault Title, Motto Mortgage One, and SafePro, and D.R. Horton. Right now, we're going to catch you up on some of the AMP stuff. Justin, any catch up there, or do you want me to take that?
I think you've got some great stats to share about what AMP has, the year of 2025 looked like for the AMP team. I know we did a lot of volume. Our agents had a great year. So what do those numbers look like, Mark?
121. I'm sitting here with our financial person. 121,722,000.
It's about that.
About that, right into there. About 115 agents on the AMP platform. Guys, we truly do make agents better faster. There are some significantly experienced leaders that coach, train, and mentor all of our agents. AMP meets on the second and fourth Thursday of the month, 4 Tuesdays during the month, 1 Saturday morning, and then you can avail yourselves of all of the folks sitting at this table and a couple that aren't with one-on-one coaching sessions. So we're really tickled with the growth of AMP. It is our goal to be at 200 agents by the end of the year. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good. We just had 3 new agents join in the past 2 days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just looked at the roster last night. And, I think the word about AMP is definitely spreading throughout our brokerage at Red One and throughout other areas of Central Ohio.
Yeah.
Dana was in Dayton recently spreading the good word about AMP at the was that like an open house for all brokerages?
Fair. Yes, there was about 15 brokerages there, some of the big hitters in the Dayton market.
Yeah.
And it was a career fair for the local St. Clair Community College. So people who were just finishing their classes, some that were just starting, some that were in, they do a certificate program there, kind of like Honduras does here. And they, it was great meeting. And I think we touched base with about 60 or 70 people. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It
awesome.
was a great couple hours. So.
Yeah, and it's, for somebody coming out of community college or Honduras business school, something like AMP is so important, so crucial to get your business started on the right foot.
And that was the key. A lot of people were asking about, do you have a mentorship program? So that was a great, roll into my discussion. Actually, a handful of people were high school students that were one girl just was graduating from high school, already completed her certificate in real estate, and a couldn't test till she turned 18. Like she's like, I'm ready. I just can't test yet because I'm not 18. So she was
love that.
excited. So yeah, a lot of great people to talk to. So I enjoyed
Maleeka,
it.
any thoughts on AMP?
Everyone should join AMP. I think we help agents build their own business. So I know a lot of people decide between, is a team right for me? Is, mentorship right for me? Or should I just try to do it myself? I think doing it yourself will take you longer. Our platform, like AMP, will make you better faster, kind of giving you the roadmap to success.
Yeah.
And you can choose how fast you want to learn, how slow you want to learn. I think having a community of like-minded agents, whether that's our Facebook group or our circle community, just brings everyone together.
Yeah, I love that. You can tell it's our mission statement. We're saying it repeatedly. We make agents better, faster.
Yeah, it's true.
I love that. Red One updates.
Yeah, our brokerage, Red One Realty, it has got some exciting stuff going on. Recently opened up the insurance wing. You want to talk a little bit about that, Mark?
We have an insurance arm now. We're going to be offering all of our clients homeowners insurance and other forms of insurance. We're tickled to be doing that. Vault Title is growing. We have Stephanie O'Brien, who is our marketing specialist now. Motto Mortgage is growing. They're bringing on some additional loan officers. So every facet of the Red One business is growing. We're proud to be a part of that. I don't know if it's the second or third fastest growing. I think it's the third fastest growing broker.
I think we were second.
Second fastest growing brokerage in the state, and either second or third by volume. And 2019 was when we came on board. So when Red One was started. So we're tickled and proud to be a part of the Red One community. Mike Hall, Ken Fairchild, Michelle Brooks, and Bob Petty and the admin team do a fantastic job for the agents that entrust their sponsorship of their license in real estate with Red One. So tickled to be a part of this.
Yeah, you can imagine, and we were just talking about people just joining the business or fresh out of school coming into the business. A brokerage like Red One Realty, with now having a title company in-house, a lender in-house, an insurance company in-house, AMP, a mentorship platform in-house. Red One is really a one-stop shop for any agents out there that are looking to get their business started right or get their business back on track if another brokerage is not working out for you. So if you need a solid brokerage and you appreciate something that's locally run and homegrown here in Central Ohio, please reach out to any of us and have a chat about Red One Realty.
Because of our engagement on the agent mentorship platform, we have dozens and dozens and dozens. I mentioned it earlier, 115 agents. And we interact with them every day.
Every day.
You have any updates on any particular agents or things that are going on in their businesses that you wanted to share?
Well, I did attend a wonderfully taught training session last night by Maleeka Smith about getting your business set up, creating your LLC, getting your EIN number, kind of structuring your business financially. And that was a really educational training that you did last night. And it seemed like everybody on the call had questions about, and you were smart to say, listen, talk to your tax professional, but
or your attorney.
Based on
Disclaimer.
Yes.
disclaimer, but based on my experience, here is a good way to approach this. And everybody had great questions, and it was a fun training class to be a part of last night.
Dana, generally speaking, sorry, I stepped on
just
your thank you.
thinking,
I
Justin.
apologize. Dana, what do you think the general feeling is on, and in particular on our AMP agents' businesses right now? How are they doing? How are they feeling? What's the general sense?
I think they feel motivated. I think they feel encouraged by our platform. I hear all the time agents saying, I'm so lucky to have AMP. People like Lisa Smith, who's been in it for several years. She's like, I'll never leave AMP. And she's a successful agent, and she's like, she loves our platform. As we all learn and we all grow and we all learn on every transaction we have, whether we're a 30-year veteran agent like yourself or a brand new agent, we're learning every day. So I think we're just getting lots of positive feedback, and everyone's excited to be there and motivated to get their business going.
I love that. We've got at the table, Dana Kitchin is our marketing expert. At the table, Maleeka Smith is our finance expert and financials expert. Justin Humphreys at the table is recruiting and our prospecting and pillars of prospecting expert. So, guys, if you're trying to build a real estate business from start to finish, the agent mentorship platform offered exclusively by Red One is the place to start. So, Justin, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to first do a commercial break to hear from a couple of our great sponsors, and we're going to be right back with segment 2, the AMP Action Plan, sponsored by Motto Mortgage. We'll see you in 1 second. Hey, folks, thanks for watching the AMP podcast. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Motto Mortgage One. Motto focuses on being not like those big banks and using modern technology-driven tools to simplify the home loan process for buyers. Motto Mortgage works to make your deal close faster, cheaper. So reach out to Motto Mortgage One today, where Kyle and Kelly are more than happy to help you with your home buying process.
Welcome back to the AMP podcast. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, and also thank you very much, Justin, for setting this up. Dana, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Maleeka, thanks for being here. In this segment, we're going to talk about some actionable tips that our agent mentorship platform agents can deploy to improve their business. And we're going to start with Maleeka.
Wonderful. Round robin, don't know where you're starting.
Yeah.
So I would say a few tips would be to plan. I try to plan my days, plan, what I'm going to work on for the day. Yesterday, I sat in the office with Mark and worked on expired listing documentation so that I can mail out something and differentiate myself for expired listings from everyone that is, all the other agents that are calling these homeowners and texting them and bugging them. There's a whole process that I have that Mark and I re-reviewed my documents, so I showed him what I was working on while I was quietly in the background during his meetings. I would also say to just follow up with people.
Yeah.
I have set up my Bold Trail to assist me in following up, but also the personal touch helps. So I go back through all of my leads, and I do make sure I touch base with them every few months to see where they are as far as their home buying process or their selling process, just to stay top of mind.
And a thought struck me. So what you're speaking of when it comes to reaching out to clients, we bring expertise, education, assistance, and facts to the process. And that's kind of what you're talking about, right? Just reaching out to bring them that education in real estate. And it's not a sales type thing. It's more, hey, look, I just want to be of assistance.
Yes, I
That's
just
what I'm
kind
hearing.
of gauge where they are, if anything's changed for them, set them up on a new search, modify their searches, and if they're planning to list and buy, seeing where their home is, if they need any help with anything, if they need advice or another walkthrough.
Yeah, makes sense. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Dana.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I'm going to go to a little bit of a different approach for agents, our action plan. My big thing right now is, of course, the buyer broker agreement. That's been hovering over our head for almost 2 years now. I think for an agent to be successful, especially with a buyer, obviously, is they need to fully understand and to be able to confidently explain the buyer broker agreement to their buyers. Often what happens is that they're so afraid to have this conversation about the commissions and what our value is. They just do the quick, here, sign this, and let's go see some houses. And then the buyer has no idea what they're doing or what they're signing. They're just signing it because they're pressured to sign this. And that is the first way you're going to lose a client, is by not being able to appropriately explain the document, explain what it's for, the reasons why we're doing this. It explains your value, explains your availability, explains how you're going to treat your, work for your client. And
It's the law.
It's the law, right? But also explain to them when it's valid, how long it's valid, because there's no standard to that form. There's no standard. It's not a standard 30 days or 6 months. It's what you put and when it's going to expire.
What you and your buyer agreed to.
And I had this just recently happen to myself. I was representing a buyer. We signed the buyer broker, explained it to him, and little did we know, after looking at like 14 houses, that he had another signed buyer broker agreement with another agent from the previous month. Even though I already asked him if he signed one, he said no, but he didn't really know. I won't go into the story because it's a little bit long and complicated, but bottom line is I was showing him houses when he already had a buyer agreement with another agent. So, and ultimately, he did write an offer with that agent on a property. Now he didn't get that, so now he's going to terminate that agreement with that agent and come back to me. But if you don't truly understand this agreement and how it works and what its purpose is, you can't explain it to your buyer. So you're going to lose a client if you don't truly understand, because it's probably already happening. People are already probably losing, buyers, because the buyers don't know that this agreement has an expiration date. It's going to expire on this date. So they're just going around signing buyer broker agreements with all different agents because they don't know what they're signing. So as an agent, you need to explain this to them because, this is the law, like you said, Mark. And we want to normalize the conversation with your buyer. Like, make it a conversation that, this is how I represent you and this is how I'm going to work for you, not just sign this paper. So I just feel like, don't be scared. Have a professional conversation with your buyer and explain this to them. And I feel like that's going to really help build your business, because they're going to be trustworthy. They're going to trust you now because you're explaining that to them. Instead of just saying, sign this, you're explaining the form and what it's about.
And on this platform, we coach
And don't be
that
scared to do that. So, and don't be scared to ask questions. If you don't know how to explain it or you don't understand what it is, ask one of us and we'll be happy to help you.
And it protects your time and your pay.
For sure.
So
For
if
sure.
they sign this with someone else and they may not know, now that other agent can come after you.
Correct.
For your commission that you work
because
very
my buyer
hard for.
asked me that. He said, well, what does this mean for you? I said, this means that we can't work together. And this means that if I would write this contract with you right now and we would close on this property, and that agent, being a good agent, is going to follow up with his potential buyer and say, oh, how's the house hunting looking? And you're going to say, well, I just bought a house. And he's going to say, with who? Because I'm your agent. And he's going to say my name. And then he's going to call me and say, I want my $6,000 because he's my client.
Yes.
So then I just worked all this time and effort and just lost $6,000. I have to pay him now.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely is a difficult conversation to have with your buyers, but that's really where you build the trust with them. And honestly, just be confident and be strong and advocate for your buyers. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is how I'm going to work for you. This is how I'm going to advocate the commissions to be, covered by the seller, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
I'll tell
Love
a
that.
quick story about
Yeah.
a situation. So I had a person that was referred to me. We discussed the buyer broker agreement and they go, well, I have one with another agent, but she's not a good fit for me. I would like to work with you. And I said, you have to go back to her and terminate. Unfortunately, this other agent would not let them terminate their agreement. So they are stuck in a 6-month agreement.
Wow.
I
I didn't know that they could do that. I didn't know that they could.
This is an attorney/broker question, but it would be my opinion that an agent cannot refuse to allow that to not be terminated. Either party can cancel that contract at any time.
Well, the contract that we use, but
The one that we use.
Certain
Yes.
brokerages have developed their own
Good
that
point.
have more restrictive language that try to prevent buyers from getting out of them, which is really unfair.
It's unfair to the buyer.
Yeah, it's unfair to the buyer, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. So what ended up happening with that, Maleeka?
They're just going to wait
Yeah.
until their 6 months is up and
Wow.
then we'll start the process.
Well, that speaks volume of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, absolutely.
Very loyal buyer clients there.
Because you explained it to them. That's why.
Yeah, and to both of your point, Maleeka said planning would be her AMP action tip, and yours was the buyer broker agreement. Plan to get better at presenting it,
For sure.
rehearse it, practice it. so that it doesn't feel like it's the first time you're talking about it when
Correct.
you explain it to the buyers, because it can be intimidating to sign a legally binding agreement the first time you meet with
sure.
someone at a house. So, like you said, Dana, being able to really fluently describe that document and how it protects both parties is going to go a long way towards making the buyer feel comfortable
Yeah, just
in that
you just have to
situation.
do a shift of your mindset and just say, this is how I'm going to work for you and advocate for you and help you. So build the trust and really, like you said, practice in front of a microphone, practice in front of a camera, practice in front of your family or one of us. If you need help doing that, we'd be happy to listen to you. But just kind of get your rhythm going and really have good conversations.
And
So,
ask us questions on how to fill it out if you're not sure.
yes,
Yeah.
Because if you fill it out wrong,
you're not going to get paid.
yes.
You could take a chance of that. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Correct.
Justin, what you got?
Well, I've got a little bit of a long one, and we're kind of running to the end of this segment here. So, what about you, Mark? What's your AMP action tip? Did you have one?
Yeah. We're all talking about it around the table, and it's about you. You can only control what you do. I've been on many Zooms, as you all have been on, and agents, especially newer agents, tend to feel like they're competing with other agents, and the buyer rep agreement certainly sets that up, right? So as self-employed business owners in the real estate industry, we control our actions. We are always only competing with ourselves. So my actionable tip is keep that top of mind for yourself. You control your business. We oftentimes find ourselves saying it this way: we either drive our business or it drives us, because it won't drive itself. So be very good at that buyer rep agreement. Be very good at planning, and be very good at prospecting, and have an intentional mindset, and control your own actions. The results come out of what you control.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. This is not a competitive thing.
Well, and it's easy to be, especially with social media, it's easy to be on there seeing agents saying, I had a closing today and it was $1 billion and I'm the best, I'm the most successful agent of all time. And, you see that and you're sitting there like cold calling people that are hanging up on you and, walking through people through houses that smell bad. And you're wondering, why is my business not doing that? But not everything you see on social media, it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
There's a lot of shiny objects out there, man.
Lots of shiny objects. And to what Mark was saying, you got to run your own race. You're competing against yourself.
That's absolutely right.
My AMP action tip is something we train a lot on the platform about. It's the pillars of prospecting. And what we mean by that is as a successful business owner, you need to be making good efforts to stay top of mind with the sphere, the people that know, like, and trust you, and also to be networking with people that will become potential clients. And we do that through a number of different versions of what we call prospecting. So when we say pillars of prospecting, it's about narrowing down those activities, the ones that fit your business and your personality the best, and they're going to be most effective for you. And it's basically about how to most effectively fill your pipeline and get new business. So it's something that we have all AMP agents schedule an appointment with us and train on, so that they can know, okay, these are the tools and methods I'm going to use to find new business and to grow my database and to be successful. So it's very important. We train on it a lot. And if I have a tip for today for agents, it's to think really seriously about that and schedule an appointment with us to talk about it.
Be intentional with your planning. Be intentional with how you engage with folks. Be intentional with your prospecting methods and control that.
I heard a quote talking about planning, Maleeka. Every minute you spend planning saves you 10 minutes when you go to execute. You think that's accurate?
Every minute
that you spend planning saves you 10 minutes when you go to execute.
It's really interesting because we have a segment coming up, favorite quotes, and this one is going to be kind of a tweener or opposite of that.
Okay.
It'll be interesting when you guys hear it.
Okay.
I don't know. is my answer to that question.
What's the other one? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's
You're
another
full
good
of
one.
them
I
today.
know.
I
Right.
can spit those out.
Get us out of here, man.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our AMP Action Plan segment sponsored by Motto Mortgage. And next, we're going to go into segment number 3. Mark, what's segment number 3?
Agent Spotlight, sponsored by Vault Title. We're going to spotlight some agents who we feel are growing their business and doing a phenomenal job no matter where they are in their experience level. We're just tickled to highlight these agents, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we love to shout out our AMP agents. We, the leaders that you see around the table and a few that you don't, we interact with the AMP agents every day, whether it's one-on-one Zooms, phone calls, text messages, our training classes,
Chatbot,
which
is actually connected to us, not a
yeah.
AI.
So on our platform, they can reach out to us 24/7 and get answers right away. And we have some amazing agents on the team, and we like to highlight them. Dana, would you like to go first?
Yeah, that would be great. So this is a good one. So my agent spotlight is Scott Hoffman. So for those of you who don't know Scott, because he's kind of a behind the scenes kind of guy. He's been around for a long time.
About 3.5 years.
Yeah, a long time. He's very engaged with his clients. And a couple months ago, we had our revenue share mastermind meeting, and Scott was on the call. And if you know Scott, you love Scott, loves to tell great stories and stuff. And he really was beating himself up, talking about how he was just, not doing well in his business, was not focused. And he was dedicated to say, I'm going to restart my focus. I'm going to start doing this. He committed to some pretty serious goals for that month of, sending text messages, DMs, following up, working on his bold trail. And that dude has crushed it. We had another call this last week. I guess today's Tuesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday. Last week we had a call. And he was actually one of our top performers for last month. I think he had
nearly $1 million.
Nearly $1 million in volume for the month. So he's excited. He's got some clients in the works. He's working with a lot of AI stuff. So he really put forth the effort to jumpstart his business, and we're really proud of him because he acknowledged that he was behind the 8 ball and kind of fallen short.
Yeah.
And he literally took it and just ran with it. So
Yeah.
Shout
job,
out to you, Scott Hoffman.
Yeah, great job,
That's
Scott.
a good one, Dana.
Yeah.
Yeah, very proud of him.
Maleeka?
My turn. Kara Kehoe, I would say maybe 2 months ago, we spoke on the phone and she had a cash buyer. We ran through comps to look at so that she could assist her client and, what to offer and what to ask for. So we went through pictures, all of those things. They did not offer on that house. She was a little bummed, but she kept at it and she still looked for houses for him. And I want to say they closed maybe 2 weeks ago
She
for that client.
2 weeks ago, but she has worked her tail off.
She's been doing open houses. She's gotten clients from open houses. So she's putting herself out there. She's talking to people.
She wrote multiple contracts for that cash buyer
Yes.
that happened.
So I know she's talked to all of us.
us.
Yeah, I was involved with a couple of those.
Just
yeah.
on different parts and pieces and,
Yeah.
Based on availability. But it was great to get her closing day text to say that, she appreciated all of our answers and assistance. And it was nice that we all could then give her that same love back.
Yeah, I think what I loved about Kara is that she tried to do things. She made an attempt to figure it out first, and if she was just super stuck, she watched the training videos, she looked at our documents, she studied all of the AMP resources, she did her homework before she had to feel like she couldn't fix it. So really, I think a lot of times when she would call us, it's just more of a making sure she's doing the right thing, and she was doing the right thing.
Yes.
So kudos to her for
Smart
working hard. Smart
businesswoman.
businesswoman, for
Very
sure.
intentional, very driven. Shout out to you,
Yes.
Kara.
Yep, absolutely.
That's
She's going to do well.
Great
She's gonna do
pick.
great.
Yeah, she's got a great personality. Just gets after it. It's amazing. There's so many agents on AMP that do such an amazing job that sometimes I forget about these. Like Kara, she's a great example of an awesome agent that I haven't trained with her in the past couple weeks, so I wasn't thinking about her, but that's a no-brainer. And I see her on social media networking with tons of people and just taking advantage of all the resources that are out there, and AMP specifically. So shout out to Kara.
Good job, Kara.
Yeah, absolutely.
My agent is Nancy Antwi, newer,
Yeah.
probably 3 months in or right around there. Fantastic lady, very intentional. When somebody decides to entrust the AMP platform, an agent who was sponsored by Red One, or they've been with Red One for a while, and they say, look, this mentorship thing is great. Let's try it. Nancy came on board, and one of our onboarding bits of homework is for the newer agents to set up a month or two worth of one-on-one coaching calls. And I asked Nancy to do that. And before we were off the call, my email lights up when people set those up.
Boom, 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 boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. She had all of them set up. I asked her to print out our exclusive AMP processing packet that you worked very hard on to put together for us. Because I said, I'm going to ask you about it on the next call. We hold people accountable, right? Had it there. Nancy is going to be an outstanding agent. Nancy, we're proud of you. Thank you very much for being intentional and controlling your actions to grow your business. So shout out to you, Nancy Antwi.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Shout out to Nancy.
We all
Nancy
talked to her, yeah.
Nancy is a new Red One agent, a newly licensed agent, new to AMP, and just, she carries kind of a calm and cool confidence about
sure.
her that is, you wouldn't know it, that she's a newer agent.
I work hard on our Zoom calls to get her to laugh.
Yeah.
She's very
Very serious, very
about
serious,
her
yes.
business. She wants to
Yes.
get to it. And so, yeah.
And she attends trainings.
Yeah, she
Yes.
was on the call last night.
She's on a
Asks
bunch
Maleeka.
of calls.
questions
Yeah.
to
Yes.
gain understanding. So.
Good
Awesome.
stuff. We got Justin.
Shout out Nancy. I want to give a shout out to one of our great AMP agents, Relendis Asoba. So Relendis, I can't think off the top of my head how long she's been on the platform. Maybe a year, maybe a little
not
bit
even.
less.
It's
Not
6
even.
months,
Yeah.
6 or 7 months.
Okay.
Yeah, right around there.
Relendis is a great example of an agent who balances, and you're going to hear Mark say this a lot, you probably already have, family, faith, social life, and work outside of real estate if you have it. Relendis does a great amount of volume, especially with new builds. She has closed 4 or 5 new builds just in the past 4 or 5 months, I think.
Yep.
She's when she's reaching out, it's always, hey, I've got this client in contract, and here's something that we're running into. How should we approach this? She does a great job. She's a producer. She takes great care of her clients, and she's a registered nurse. And I had a family member in a physical rehabilitation center here in Central Ohio recently, and she was part of the care team there. And not only is she a great real estate agent, but she's a wonderful nurse as well. So she's a mom, a wife, juggles all that stuff, all the family, faith, social life, and work outside of real estate stuff that you always talk about, Mark. She does a great job. So shout out Relendis. Keep crushing it out there and keep doing what you do.
Well done, Relentless.
Yeah.
Fun stuff,
She
man.
goes to all the trains too.
Yeah.
She's another one that's on.
She was in the office yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So got
For
to
both
meet
of her
for
coaching.
CE as well as her
Yeah,
coaching with
yeah.
Mark.
She sat next to me. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was on a Zoom link with her because we had a scheduled call.
Yeah.
I sent her the link, and she got on. And Maleeka recognized she was downstairs in our training center because she was there for CE.
I was like, that
I
red
said,
door looks familiar. Is she
"Well,
downstairs?
Relentless, why don't you just come upstairs and
Yeah.
see me in person? So she came up. It was a blast. She
Yeah.
is a wonderful person.
She is. She really is. We got a lot of great agents on the AMP team. 115 strong, growing every day. That was our AMP Agent Spotlight, sponsored by Vault Title. We're going to take a quick commercial break to hear from a couple of our sponsors, and we're going to be right back with segment 4, Ask the Coach. So we'll see you here in just a second. Thank you to our sponsor, Vault Title. The way they can help you is prior to closing, Vault Title will conduct your title search, coordinate all the aspects of the title services with the appropriate parties. They're going to prepare all your necessary documents, schedule your settlement. During the closing, they're going to be accounting for all your funds, reviewing closing documents, dispersing all the mortgage loan and sale proceeds, and after closing, they're going to satisfy all lender requirements, record your transfer documents, and issue your title insurance policy. Whether you're a buyer or seller or an agent looking for a great title company, reach out to Vault Title today, 614-324-2580, or email them team@vault-title.com.
Welcome back to the AMP Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. Maleeka, Dana, Justin, and Mark Dandrea, the Doctor of Real Estate here, and we've got Ethan on the engineer board. Ethan, prior to our meeting, we asked you about, as a 24-year-old, I hope it's okay that I disclose that, how you feel about real estate. What was your one thought that you conveyed to us regarding folks of your age and how they feel about real estate in general? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think, did it have to do with renting?
Yeah.
So I personally thought that it's harder to buy a house as a young person because of a couple things, lack of credit, and then just all that goes into buying a house. So I thought that renting is more advantageous for a younger person. So to hear something that would combat that would be very, very helpful.
I appreciate that lead in. Thank you so much. We have a section of our training that is buyer's math. So guys, if you want to learn how to assist first-time home buyers who are renting to buy a home and help them understand the math behind that, it is very, very difficult to stay ahead of the market, whether you're saving for down payment, waiting for interest rates to come down, or waiting for housing prices to come down. Join us here on the AMP platform as an agent, and we'll help you to teach your renting, buying clients how to understand real estate math. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. So this particular section, Ask the Coach, sponsored by Vault Title. Thank you. Or no, is it sponsored by Safe Pro? Sorry.
Yeah.
You've got a question that an AMP agent, you both do, asked you recently, and we wanted to talk about those. What was your question?
Yeah, so these are questions that pop up in our training classes or on our one-on-one Zooms with AMP agents. Recently, one of our AMP agents, Colleen McCormick, had a great question about title insurance and how that affects a buyer, cost-wise, and what it means, what it is. And specifically, the question was owner's title insurance versus lender's title insurance, because these are two separate line items that show up on a settlement statement. And I think Colleen was reviewing an ALTA statement, a settlement statement for her client before closing. She had seen both of those, or her client had seen both of those line items, and they both said that they were available to be shopped around. So the buyer had the opportunity to shop around for better pricing on both of those items. And she reached out and just asked the question of, what's the difference between this? And my answer to her was that owner's title insurance protects the owner of the home,
the buyer.
Yeah, the buyer of the home against any unforeseen liens or assessments that might not be caught during the title search process. So if there's a contractor from 1985 that comes out and says, I did the roof on that house and I never got paid, and they have some kind of lien that wasn't caught, that owner's title insurance policy protects your ownership against any unforeseen liens or assessments like that. Lenders have their own version of that. They want to protect their interest in that property too, because it is
they have a note.
They have a note on that asset. So that's the difference. The lender's title insurance protects the lender. The owner's title insurance protects the owner. And they are, you can shop around. I'm not sure if this closing was with Vault Title or not, but by the time you get that ALTA, that settlement statement, you're probably about a week away from closing.
Your title company
Sometimes
is
a couple
selected.
days.
Yeah, sometimes a couple days. You're absolutely
The
right.
shopping around part is the title company part.
Yeah, and
owner's title policies are regulated.
Right.
It is by county, so much percentage per every 1,000 of the mortgage. So the title company can't affect that, but that shopping around is for the title company.
Well, and the buyers, when they see something, buyers, it's a stressful time for them. They are probably putting down a large down payment, or they're thinking about their finances a lot.
That's right.
So when they see that something that they have the ability to maybe save a couple bucks on a settlement statement, they get real curious about that. So
absolutely,
be ready to have that conversation with your clients. And go through the settlement statement with your clients line by line and just explain everything to them. We train that on the AMP platform. We'll probably have an upcoming training on that sometime soon. But know the settlement statement, know what each of those items are, so that when your buyers have questions, you can explain it educationally to them.
And sometimes depending on the MLS that you're working out of and the contract that you're working on, that also depends on who pays for that title insurance.
Correct.
Some markets it's different, so
It's negotiable.
yeah, definitely negotiable. So
Dana,
keep
what
that in
do you have? You've got an AMP agent
Yeah,
question.
so I had an AMP agent reach out to me and said, working with a seller, and said, is doing a net to seller worksheet important to a seller? And 100%, absolutely, it's important. Obviously, like, it's ultimately about what they're going to net from the sale of their house. And there's a lot of factors involved, what they owe on their mortgage, if they have a second mortgage, if they have any, tax liens, if they have who knows what, all kinds of different scenarios. So yes, but I do caution you to make sure that you're using a proper tool, whether it's a tool from a title company, Vault Title has a net to seller sheet, making sure that you have, the correct county listed in there, because obviously those are going to change because of tax expirations. Make sure you know the numbers before, you're presenting this to your seller, because those numbers can shift. And I always make sure I'm very cautious with my sellers and letting them know these numbers can change based upon when we close, what the tax expirations are. Some markets, I do the Dayton market, and that tax expiration is much different. They use a different proration, so that number can shift quite a bit too between a long proration and a short proration. Just make sure that you're being helpful to your client so they know what they're looking at and know your numbers before you present it. Don't just give it to them, be able to explain to them what this stuff means. And also give them multiple scenarios, because ultimately it is about, what they're going to net, but you also want to give them scenarios. I'm working with some clients right now that didn't quite understand. They knew they had a set, what they wanted to get out of their house, but they didn't understand, when I had multiple offers to present to them, they were quickly to discount an offer that was a lower offer, but they were being unrepresented. So they're not paying for a buyer's, commission, and they were a cash buyer. So there were a lot of factors that were involved, and I had to really explain that to my sellers, that even though this is a lower offer, it's a better offer. So just kind of know your numbers and give them multiple scenarios. Or if a buyer's asking for concessions, they might be offering a higher list price. So just kind of know those numbers. Work with the Vault Title company to get that login and sign up, a login, and just mess around with that document. And you guys have any thoughts on that, or any?
Well, every brokerage, has 2 or 3 or 4 title companies that they prefer. And so we refer them, and whoever the title company is, they should have an app for sure online that can produce a net to seller. And I think that's critical.
Yeah, but bringing that, talking with your client, like you said earlier, Maleeka, preparing and planning ahead. So if you're going to go into a seller's consultation, ask these questions. What is your desired net on the property? Like, when you sell this property, what do you want to net? And be able to let them know, let me do a net to seller worksheet for you so we can kind of see where we want to list, how soon you want to list, and how quickly you need to sell. A lot of factors involved. So
I use the net to seller sheet so often. It's one of my quick tabs on my my internet bar, my bookmarks bar. So the net to seller sheet, it's a part of every listing presentation that I do. What I love about Vault Titles is that they do present you with 3 different pricing scenarios, so that you can kind of, hey, I think your house, based on the comps, should sell in this range. So, at the high range, here's, the net proceeds based on your mortgage payoff and all the fees that are involved. It just, when you're helping somebody achieve their goals, it helps them know, okay, if my house sells successfully, this is the amount of net proceeds I can walk away with to go and do what I want to do next. I have a seller right now that their goal is to sell a property that they have, pay off their remaining mortgage and their daughter's remaining mortgage, and sail off into the sunset, owning their homes flat out. And by providing the net to seller sheet, I was able to show her that she would be able to achieve her goals by, selling that property at a certain price. And it's super valuable to the clients to know what they're going to walk away with and what to expect. So I'm a big advocate of the net to seller sheet.
I just caution you too, just to make sure, if there's other scenarios, like if you're working with the seller that owns a condo, there's going to be, additional fees that we're not sure about, condo association fees, transfer fees, stuff like that. Because, I recently had a condo that sold, and we did not know that the condo association charged $300 for a status letter, which is absurd to me. But, so when that came up on the Alta, my seller was a little bit shocked, like, oh, why are we paying this? And so just be cautious about those extra fees. So I always make sure I tell my seller these numbers can be, can change, a little bit based upon, other fees from condo associations or tax prorations. So just, error on caution. Don't say this is exactly what you're going to net. You're going to leave this day with this amount, but just be cautious, but definitely use that tool when you're doing your seller consultation.
It's an estimated net, but it's pretty
yes.
close. It's a minimum fiduciary requirement if you're listing a home to provide a seller's net.
For sure.
Your client needs to have that idea. Done there, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to wrap us up for segment 4, Ask the Coach, sponsored by Safe Pro Home Warranty. What's up next, Mark?
The next segment is inspirational. It's Mindset Matters. It's sponsored by D.R. Horton. We love D.R. Horton. These are inspirational quotes or stories and practical advice on handling rejection, staying organized, and maintaining work-life balance. And we'll be right back.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the AMP podcast. We want to give a quick shout out to one of our great sponsors at Safe Pro Home Warranty. Diana and Clayton have got you covered. If you move into your house within the first year and something goes wrong, like your hot water tank, your air conditioner, or your furnace, they are going to help you cover the cost of that so you don't have to do the whole thing out of pocket. So reach out to Diana and Clayton today to get your coverage set up at Safe Pro Home Warranty. Thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the AMP podcast. Thanks for joining us here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this, and look for it on all your favorite podcast libraries. We're starting off this last segment, Mindset Matters, sponsored by D.R. Horton. Justin, Mindset Matters.
Yeah, so this is kind of inspirational quotes, practical advice, things like that. And one of my favorite episodes that we've done on the AMP podcast was, I think, episode 12 from last season when Mike and Ken came in and joined us. And go back and watch that episode because there were some serious nuggets dropped, like straight from the brokers, straight from Mike and Ken, advice on business and anything real estate related. And one of the things that Mike said that was really profound in that episode that I tell a lot of agents that are struggling to find motivation or struggling to be consistent is to not treat real estate like a hobby and treat it like a career. Mike said when agents stop treating real estate like a hobby and start treating it like a career, he sees an obvious shift in their business. And I think that's very true. Real estate kind of can have the reputation of, oh, I'm just going to get my real estate license and float around town and be, and just be popular and do a little bit of business here and there. And, we're the agents on AMP and most of the agents at Red One Realty, we're in this to provide for our families and to create a great business and a great career. And you can't treat it like a hobby and expect it to perform like a business and to be successful. So if you can look inward for a minute and you feel like you're treating maybe this apply, hey, maybe I am treating this like a hobby. Maybe I should get a little bit more serious about it or be a little bit more disciplined or be a little bit more committed to my goals. If you can do that, you will be more successful, guaranteed.
Love that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Dana?
Well, my quote is my own quote, and I always tell this to my clients that I'm not going anywhere. So when I tell my clients that, if they're hesitant about whether they're ready to sell, whether they're ready to buy, and they're like, I'm not sure if I'm quite ready, I'm not going anywhere. So I got my license, and I'm in it for the long haul. I'm in it until I'm as old as Mark. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not too far off from that. I'm joking, Mark. You know that.
You're fine.
No, so
I am old.
I'm in it for the long haul. So I think when I tell my clients that I'm not going anywhere, that takes pressure off of them, and so ultimately it takes pressure off me. So when I tell them I'm not going anywhere, they say, thank you so much. We'll call you when we're ready. And they do. And I think that takes pressure off my sense of knowing that, yeah, I'm going to keep following up with them. I'm going to keep prospecting them. But it keeps my head clear and it keeps their head clear. So I think I just take the pressure off that. If I don't have the pressure of learning, when's the next client going to come around? When's my next buyer? When's my next seller? If I just say I'm not going anywhere, they suddenly start coming when they're ready. And that's like just a quote I like to use. So I'm not going anywhere.
Love that. I'm not going
I'm
anywhere.
not going anywhere.
By Dana Kitchin.
Makes you feel more reassured.
It does, yeah. And it makes my clients feel more reassured that, okay, when we're ready, we're going to call her.
Yeah.
So not like
she's just interested in us right now.
right
because
now, and
maybe
if
we
we
wanna-
don't decide to sell or buy for 6 months, is she still going to be there? No, I'm not going anywhere, so I'll be here. So, and
Love that.
it takes a good sense of relaxation off them. So
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Assistance, education, facts, and expertise whenever it's right
whenever
for
you're
them.
ready, I'm not going anywhere because
Love it.
I'm the agent plus.
Love that. That was a shameless plug. Maleeka?
What I think of would be, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no. So
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know a lot of people don't want to be rejected, so they don't want to ask and go through the motions. When I started AMP early on, we had a Saturday training where we put everyone's numbers on a dry erase board. I think you guys remember this. So asking, how many open houses are you doing? How many people are you getting from each open house? And we took all the numbers from everyone in the room and on Zoom, and, we put those on the board, and we came down to numbers like, a lead may only be, you'll close 2% of your leads, or you'll close 4% of open house visitors. And to me, if you're only closing 2% of leads, that means 98% will say no or not work out. So getting that in my mind early on, I just have to ask 100 people to get 2 yeses is like
Yes.
the mindset that I took away from that. So
Yeah.
to me, whether it is someone who may mention real estate and I, dive deeper into a conversation, sometimes it turns out to be nothing. Sometimes it turns out to be something. So I'm always okay with a no and being rejected. I mean, I don't like it, but I can tolerate it. But I know the yes will come somewhere else. So maybe it's not that person or not that door, but it'll be somewhere else or something else. That's for me.
I love that.
Yeah. Every no gets you closer to a yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something I've been guilty of in the past. Coming from a customer service industry background, I'm always so focused on making sure my clients are happy and comfortable. Sometimes sometimes in the past, I've been afraid to ask for referrals because I didn't want to make them feel pressured or like I'm trying to get something from them. I just want to make sure that they're having the best experience. And I've had to fight against myself a little bit in the past to say, hey, you did a good job by them. You deserve the business. So ask for it. Because if you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no.
Or even if you do a property boost for a listing, I would say most of those people, when you call them, they're a no. But you get great practice. You get great practice following up.
Yeah.
They go into your Bold Trail. They're going to get automated messages from Bold Trail or from me. So I'm okay with no's.
And
get
it's
to a yes.
fun to talk to people.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes no.
Well, I think it's fun to talk to people. But you're right. It can be stressful.
A little bit. Especially when Mark makes you start calling people at 8:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
We
rough.
early.
did that yesterday.
Oh, wow.
She was dealing with something. I said, call him right now.
Yes.
And she did. I think. I don't know. This is philosophical. It's not a quote, and it's not mine. I highly recommend you all go out and get this book. It's called Greatness, and it's by David L. Cook. He's a PhD. And out of that book, patience. Patience with the process. You all have heard the old adage, find something that you're passionate about that is not a hobby. Spend 10,000 hours becoming an expert, and then go out and crush it. Oftentimes, agents, especially newer agents, are searching for perfection in what they're doing. I want to do this right. Do it right. I want to be perfect at it. And that is not the way our brains are wired at all. Our brains are not wired for perfection. In fact, that makes us anxious. Our brains are wired to adapt. So adapt to making phone calls, right? And Maleeka has. So we need to adapt to our market, understand that there's no such thing as perfection, doesn't exist. It existed once. That's my faith. But it's not going to be perfect. But if we can repeatedly stay after something and show ourselves the difference between winning in this world of real estate versus losing in this world of real estate, one of those things is to have patience with yourself and don't expect perfection. Your brain will more easily adapt to changes than you think. Those are my thoughts.
Absolutely. That's a great one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get us out of here.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap us up. It does feel good to be back in the studio.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're
I've
fine.
said that like 3 or 4 times. I want to explain why. Ethan, our engineer, is getting married. He has got to be out of the studio at 9:30. He is on his way to get his marriage license, and we need to get him out of here. So I apologize if that has felt pushy.
No, not at all. I
And
think it's timed perfectly.
Please continue.
I think it's timed perfectly. It is morning on a Wednesday. We've all got busy schedules, so we're going to go out there and crush it. We're going to take care of the AMP team, make sure everybody is hitting their goals, and I appreciate each of you being here this morning, taking time out of your day. It feels good to be back in the studio, and this is the first episode of Season 3. It's going to be a 12-episode season. We've got 2 new sponsors on board, Motto Mortgage and DR Horton. We're very happy to have them on board as sponsors, and we're going to be back 11 more times before this is over, so I'm looking forward to every one of them.
It's good seeing you, Justin. Dana, you too. Maleeka, you too. And Ethan, thanks for your help today. I appreciate it. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the AMP podcast. We'll see you next time.